say, or a big boy, in fact, in the industry. Yeah, off air, yeah, to common one and who say, oh, or call Haru. Yeah, because he must be called Jacobs. When I'm so BC.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a final exam. So, yeah, first batch.
Oh, okay.
1996.
Yeah,
you throw a Fadama school. Or also a Fadama boy.
1996.
Or also a Abeka boy.
That's right.
Or a Tessano boy. La Paz, Nyameche, Apenkwa. Sa area when you know Ubo said, yeah. Entertainment industry. Yeah. I mean, he's paid his
solid.
Last year September, around 30th September, solid. Or step it down as the CEO and managing director of 3 Music.
Exactly.
And I don't want to go too much into Ajuma Awabo and his contribution. Baba Sadiq Abdullahi Abu.
That's right.
Is our guest.
That's right.
What's I say?
Yeah. And I don't pay. I didn't know a guest
because our contesting.
Yeah, but country news and
Debbie. Also DMP. Also DMP. Okaikoi Central.
Oh, okay.
And what was your areas? Number boy and no Fadama Abeka Tessano La Paz. Nyamiche Apenkwa. Who saw areas holding that. And I'm Baba. Ababa. Okay. And Baba Sadiq. Yeah. This morning, young entertainment be brave. Or per se, or come Rashabu Jeffy. Right. Constituency no choosing so a wedding. Primaries no crown and son will be facing off with the possible candidate for the MPP and that form. Baba, Bibi Aboko. Okay.
And that form, but right.
Nyamebe. And the only question is Nyamebe.
Baba, you didn't carry him say 3 news, but what's switching now? Politics. A little background. Baba Sadiq, why?
Baba Sadiq, a brantia, you won or Fadama. I was saying you Fadama. Seniana.
CJ
can say that CJ can make a barrister. CJ the barrister. So that CJ can because school Haru Abeka form even preschool in a garden come through with basic school in Akori JSS and so they call Ghana National College or Cape Coast and from Hono Monosuna Mishi Jumase. Okay. Na Mejumase no mission communications into my ejuma mainly in the media and entertainment industry no. Maybe me ejuma multimedia. Masha said or department be as in your friend innovations department. I think Mini Rudy was the only first and only last staff of the innovations department and later on me bar joy programs called hits programs into maybe free number of hits programs now maybe Juma Metro TV. Essentially could the programs manager and executive producer of Asat One channel no. I was in charge of channel ni na the on air programming. If you on Monosuna, me share me entrepreneurial path. Okay. And I'm starting to say me creating me products. If you are the 3 Music, as I say about the 3 Music TV. Yeah. 3 Music TV in a group no 3 media networks no. Also has other affiliate channels including Plus FM. And as I say no, me create Waterland and the Waterland Foundation. The Waterland Foundation no. It was Space BFN, ESG, Environmental, Social and Governance. Okay. In doing the last one, say I think just 2 days ago, Ghana Meteorological. Yeah. Almost the information we to just say. Yeah. The change in the weather conditions, and Hamatan, but it was also due to a very extreme weather changes. Yeah. When in as a result of climate change, now no say buying respiratory problems, lung problems. So climate change is a big issue. And issues related to environment a big issue. It may affect a critical climate change into ESG Wildland Foundation. The creating awareness and advocacy around climate change issues and environmental issues. Any governance issues in and related around it. A very example of a governance issue, for instance, is the execution of the land reclamation bond, for instance, EPS which means that all the mining companies, prerequisite to Obenya license no more operating is to post a bond to ensure say assassin the Obeshiano no you bring it back to the same level. Okay. Because the environmental issues has a correlation to weather changes here to create issues so that's what the Wilderland Foundation is saying. And my background in communications, worked in media and entertainment industry. Now I do a lot of sustainability and environmental. That's kind of the conversation. Politically, me a member of the Ndc Okaikoi Central from 2014. In fact, Okaikoi Central, me share my battle 2004. And I've always been voting there, and I don't have anywhere I'm a friend than Okaikoi Central. Also politically, in the last 2020 election, I was a member of the manifesto team that helped to write the manifesto, and then I also became the spokesperson for the tourism, art and culture subcommittee of the manifesto.
You mean the People's Manifesto?
The People's Manifesto, sir. NDC People's Manifesto. And on the basis of that, in Bremine, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, we went to almost 10 regions.
I see.
I was on the campaign trail in the Nam, Western North, Western region, and Bono East, Ashanti, Central, even Greater Accra, and all in Ano. Working with him, working with the party, he gave me some considerable political experience.
But for Obia or Onimu, just within the entertainment circles, now and the Yeka politics, with all these things you're talking to us about, how did you manage to combine entertainment, any politics, my man kind of say swerving everybody. Because Obia himself
how I did it. Very interesting, Misha Joseph Akabli and some of the Hit FM stuff. And say, hey, it's interesting. I used to come here every time for entertainment. They say, I'm bound for political shows.
Honorable in the making.
But I don't know. But I think that also because I Nyamani Bebreno in the background. So I mean, from manifesto Jumano is always in the background. You do it. It's the work you do for the party. A number of the Jumana in my Yama party is always in the background. And, say I can't show or I don't tell you. It's not too apparent. And until now, where I also speak for the party as well. I was not too in the front. Now I'm back room and I Juma about party in both my constituency and also at the national level. So I've been around in the politics for some time and now. Meaning more learning from some of my mentors, some of the old men, Uncle Ato, Church Street Group, and even some of my colleagues, other young politicians that also mentored me, Samuel Kujeto, Felisofo Kwache, Jensen Boateng, Suhini, and that reminds me, Suhini who said, as I'm panning, we are
but honestly, he was the president that was the vice. Teaching SRC.
So I mean a number of other young people now interacting into all of these associations any relations Mame considerable political experience in me here as a young person in the party. Yes, as a young person. Now I've been doing it, but it was always been in the background one way or the other. To say, for instance, almost converting or when they vetted ministers for tourism, art and culture. We sat with some members of my party within the vetting committee and give them some of the issues, get them to appreciate some of the issues and questions that they would ask. So and then also during the last year, and I was also a co-convener of the Arise Ghana. Until I was part of it, Arise Ghana, the demonstrations, the activism, and all of that, But I don't know how I did it. It's keep your balances. It's keep your balances, man. So everybody felt everybody thinks everybody sees me from Juma in the media and entertainment industry. But there wasn't enough spotlight our politics until now. So sometimes people could be mistaken. When I start to go deep into politics, political strategy, when I start to go into governance issues or a few other current issues, they look back and like, how? This guy.
But Sadiq, there were a lot of political parties, so why the NDC? And then motivate you to join the NDC?
Oh, NDC, they are NDC, they are strong NDC person. She became a regional executive at a point in time, two-time. And Father Mahonmona, na me in me dan yechi, me fie echi. Na mo for be a friend Alaji, he may so rest in peace. Alaji Garba Mo. Na Father Mahonmono, na he was a coordinator my NDC. It's at a very early age, you know. This is before 96 or Alhaji Gabamu 95. So this I'm talking 92 or even before the independent, even before the political party activism started by 91, 92, 93, 94. Na nifi you know Alhaji Gabamu no. Hormona na ye mamenum no mushia until we hear mamia. So association orientation, you know, from Hono, which I've always been NDC maybe cool university pono student politics. I've always affiliated with the NDC ideology of it, you know, and so I think that by socialization and also growing, you know, began to see say party ewo akumapa any good intentions for the country, and I've always sought to deliver a stronger, a bigger or quality value to Ghanaians, you know, NDC. So I got stuck believing in it, and I think the NDC is a party that allows Imebuno to really take the reins and bring their quality to bear in political decision making, and so nowhere to go than the NDC. NDC is a party I love. NDC is a party that I have at heart. NDC is a party I want me too. Me be executive. Me who me no me sisters no more. Almost share activism. I say of Fadama. Alhaji Garba more fear more. So I mean there can never be any other party.
But what be because West Simon term the straight. You want to be MP? Now so start if you constituency level, constituency organizer, secretary. Now why the rush? Why you want to be MP?
Oh, Mijidi say Ebino Beka say social say because they feel say you build experience. But here's the case, me, you know, I even gain because of my background and the experience. You know, you can be built from different sides. You can build experience, you know, from private sector. Now they are about politics. You can build experience even from the political ground, or you can build experience from the mentorship. You can build experience. I don't think of all the candidates that are contesting. You know, there's one person that I've had access to. More relevant and important political decision makers than I've had collectively. You know, Bitizan Klato, Professor Kwame Ahoy, and all of them collectively, their years of experience is more than 100. Boom together, more than 100 years of experience. And if these are the people that would mentor and direct you and guide you, and if these are the people you get the opportunity to work even at the highest level, right from constituency, work as a spokesperson for a national campaign, as a 2020 campaign. I doubt that's the kind of experiences that I'm sure say amount for a per se. Maybe you go through the system and grow, you get it. Here's a case unconventional, you know. I got it from my private sector, working in different organizations, gaining considerable work experience, professional reputation, building it. Now, so tap into the experiences of elders of the party and also working at the highest level, even as a young man. I'm sure that these are experiences are boom together, and even currently right now, there are subcommittees of Yashe Yejumasi because, like I told you, NDC is a party. We have good intentions. Until even 2 years before the time, Yashe Yejumasi in the manifesto committee, and I'm still a member of two other different committees. I'm sure say experiences, you know, knowledge and understanding of governance, political decision making, and how we can bring relief to the people. And they may cross our table.
Okay, but Obeka said your relationship with the former president, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, and so it may build add up to some experiences.
Yes, exactly. I mean, it's also because I worked close to him on, and particularly for the Tourism, Art and Culture part. You know, we really did a very good work. The People Manifesto till now, I'm sure even if you speak to a lot of governance experts, if you speak to a lot of the INGOs, so my catcher will say, a demonstration. It is the most well thought through manifesto a political party in Ghana has brought up in the last 10 years. Well thought through plans, you know, route to map on in terms of is one for the first time. One on the first breaking it down. Where plans were per se, you know, this is how we are looking to get it. This is where we are looking to get the funding. This is how we are looking to do this. Look how we are looking to do this. It gives you, when people say the alternatives, they laugh at them. If you go back to the People's Manifesto, that's full of alternatives. The alternative ideas in how we can turn around our economy and how you can turn around the country, and it's there. This is aside my leader and our presumptive presidential candidate. all the policy alternatives or the autonomy in all the 3 different lectures or the ama. So all these things, it also working with him closely, seeing how he does his things, have given me some edge, some experience, and some insight in political decision making. And I think that, somebody like me who has got considerable private experience in building his business and creating employment from Emebunu, and also getting experience at the top level, coming from a constituency as Okaikoi Central Fadamano. I think all of this combination combines to give me a very strong edge as somebody. I do not only understand the issues of my people, but also have strong ideas and have a route to execution in terms of how I can ensure that my people are better off.
Okay, into Busiawa joining Baba Sadiq episode contested for Okaikoi Central Parliamentary for the NDC. But Baba, what pick it from?
I pick it from.
What pick it from?
What pick it from?
Until be file it. I'm sure, sir. I pick it from alongside you.
Sir.
Right. About how many people?
In the Osha activism now, I think it's about 5 or 6 of us. Osha activism now, apart from myself, there are 5 other people on the basis of the activism,
And then out of that, one will emerge.
Exactly.
On the ticket of NDC Okaikoi Central. And you believe, say,
of course, the things that puts me in a good stead to be able to win. And generally, every time we share delegates in the party for, I'm able to try to give them that information. Okaikoi Central, peri-urban, peri-urban constituency. There are 61,000 people on the voters register. So 61,000 people, we 1,233 delegates,
61,000, that is the 2020 election.
Yes, on the basis of the 2020 elections currently. Now, there are 1,233 delegates.
Okay.
1,033, there are 2 different levels of political decision making in Okaikoi Central. Parties, the 2 biggest parties, any other party, internal publics, delegates, we be taking decision. Now, you take a decision, sad decision, would have to be validated by these over 50,000 people in the constituency. And now, almost check a trend from 96 ABC. 50,000 people, you will trend be I want to share. Edit to me a voting will be candidate be than MP. And I've got all the qualities. I've got the professional reputation, I've got the credibility, I've got the capability, the charisma. It's a very important one, the personality to be able to turn out to me turn my mom for a ton. And then beyond that, obviously the resources to be able to run an effective campaign and operations. And we are very, very important. To share from 96 that comments are by in terms of professional reputation, so a lawyer. Lizasaki by so a banker, or friend saying what's it called, former assemblywoman, and a Patrick Subai. He had 2012 for buy, when the constituency was carved out of Okaikoi enough, or say he was youthful, Obama Honfe. He's got a very good reputation. So a lawyer, you say Najun Mado, he's this, he's that. These are sentiments that generally the over 50,000 people in the constituency would look to and validate. Now you've asked somebody that has got all of that. It's got the reputation, professional reputation, because professional reputation in the industry, media entertainment, and I doubt saying there will be a mebuna more than if you take the first 5, ubinyam in the first 2 and the first 3, which means that my bomb home beyond that, we share the personality, how I carry myself in the community, how I give back and organize and do things for my community and the constituency. Most importantly, my understanding, because you have me to constituency anymore. In constituency, so my understanding, my trouble from the constituency from 2004, my understanding of the geopolitics of Okaikoi Central, my understanding of the special needs of the people, and the ability to think around it and turn it around for good for my people. This puts me in a good stead. So, first and foremost, the first political decision-making point, I believe that my party, in May 13, will make a decision that reflects the expectation of the over 50,000 people, because obviously that's the only way we can win. Mind you, since Okaikoi Central Bayano, we've lost it to the MPP on all the 3 different election cycles. And obviously, if the MPP represents Patrick in case he wins his offense, he's not a candidate or therefore. So already you are coming from a deficit.
Yeah.
They are having a candidate that has shown strength in 3 different elections. So you need somebody that matches trends. Now constituency in Beshare over 50,000 for the Beshare.
Also a person
It's Baba Sadiq.
Okay.
And I already know the good part about it is that to further amplify, there's a 50% work that has been done because Juma Maya in the media, Juma Maya for Mebuno providing jobs, creating opportunities. There's this publicity and visibility and positioning in and around me that makes it a bit easier to be able to sell me as well, apart from the personality, the thinking, the knowledge, the capability and credibility. So when you now say combines plus all the assets, because now from the constituency, if you are looking for a major link to the top, some of the members of the party that have access to the top that are sitting in my constituency, Uncle Alex Sebifia, and then there are other people, Professor Gavuamo.
Okay.
But when you are looking at young people that have got access and have close connections to the top, and can achieve your party by power, really be able to access it. Every time I catch me in this phone to say, sometimes a lack of opportunities is your lack of a proper network to the top, your point man. But here's the case: you have somebody who is currently already sitting on 2 different committees, who had worked with the presidential candidates, gone on 10 regions, campaigns with him, has close access to everybody that matters in the party, and can ensure that she be about power, running through and getting through and making the necessary contact to bring that much there. And then maybe because per candidate we are faina, you can contribute in the way you want to contact. Not yet. But Baba Sadiq has all of that already. So it's a total package, and I think that I'm the best foot forward for the party in Okaikoi Central. Obviously, by May 13, the BGD say delegates would affirm qualities, and then we can go into the main battle with the MPP.
About your befa 1 or 2 comments, but before then, you share the 2020 elections, of course, so parliamentary elections. Sure. Now the MPP, or more candidate Patrick Yabuama, Epuli, 27,935, right. 59.6%. Then more candidate Abdul Rashid Issa, Epuli, 18,922.
Yes.
Deficit of 9,013.
9,800.
Okay.
9,800 deficit.
So. Baba Sadiq, then wait me over 10.
Mitchell said, and already even when we're discussing, if you want to check the true voter deficit of the constituency, take a look at it from Yenya presidential margins, 2012, 2016, 2020. You would see the real deficit is almost about 3,500.
How? Oh yeah, calculation is it?
So in 2012 when we lost, it was about 2,200. 2016.
Is it parliamentary or presidential?
Presidential. Presidential. Okay. I'll just detail some few things to you. And then in 2016, hovering around the same figure. In 2020, it was about 3,500. So give and take between 3,500, 400 on the base of the trend. That is a real voter deficit. Now you would also, if you compare with parliamentary, you would realize there's been scat and blast, which means that almost about 6,000 to 7,000 people that voted for the MPP candidates voted for your presidential candidate.
Okay.
Which means that these are people on your party doing. These are people that ordinarily would vote for your candidate. But there are a number of factors. And this, you say to me, one of it is having a candidate that can resonate with the 4 voting blocks of the constituency. There are 4 voting blocks in the constituency. There's a Khan block, there's a voter Ewe block, there's a Northern Muslim Zongo block, there's a Ga block. These are 4 voting blocks.
And you think you appeal to?
Yes, I appeal to 4 blocks in Ina. Because when you take the Khan block, for instance, I grew up with them, I went to school with them, I speak to them, I understand their needs, and I know where they are in the constituency. Talk about the Gan block as well. We know. Talk about the Muslim Zongo block, which is a block I come from as well. I understand. The Ewe block, my stepmother hear me. Part of her is also Ewe. And so there's that connection and understanding in terms of how we can leverage it. So it would come down to a certain, after when you're candidate, there's a certain innovative campaign that we need to go, and a certain resources that we need to pull in certain areas to give us the upper hand. We need now, but with my team, and know how to attack it. Ebino, yen can on air. Any party for the video.
See you Facebook comments. Yeah. Nana Kwesi or say, I love the businessman. I love Sadiq, the businessman with big ideas and affecting lives positively. But Sadiq, the politician, I don't know. Politics has changed good people into something else, and I fear my good Sadiq won't be anything different. How will you respond to that?
So
of course, we agree with him.
I agree with him. So
to some extent.
So everybody knows me for big ideas.
Yes.
Everybody knows me for this, the boldness to go into part that will be intimate. I mean, this is a Sadiq that decided, say, I'm going to put a team that encompasses different disciplines, from medical, engineering, legal, sustainability, forestry, security, put them together and do a massive single event in at the Shire Forest Reserve when nobody would have dared. This is Sadiq that decided to say, okay, I'm looking to change the face of industry by going into places where often people wouldn't dare to. This is Sadiq that says that me team start an idea, a TV show, then I'll grow it within a number of years and turn it into a TV station as a young person. And all of these things I did it when I'm just 37. And so I know a lot of them who say positive excellence now me want. All we have to do is to bring that same positive excellence to politics and improving the lives of the people. So that's the thing. And yes, he will say it's not true. But if anybody that also know me would say Sadiq will not wait for the distance to be handed over to him. We would work it. We would go down. We would turn it around. The essay to me here to bring the reliefs to my people, right, and improve the almost lives, in Okaikoi Central. We'll do it, and we'll do it very well.
Okay, King Kaka on Facebook. Baba Sadiq is a go-getter. All the best from King Kaka inside Takwa. I fully support him. I don't know, but they are loose here, but we still have some other issues.
Baba Sadiq, until at the end of the day, I'm finally say why emerge victorious what NDC primaries. They say when are you more candidate or Okaikoi Central? Only Patrick Yabuama Nebeshia.
So
are you very sure?
So we need the primary.
You doubt it's all very new.
Me doubt. I mean, he's always been, of course, any young person from Okaikoi Central would the politics you before you ascend to anything, you need to begin to respect Ebimo Omo noble achievement. Of course, I respect his noble achievement. Just a 3-time MP in Okaikoi Central.
No joke.
I won't take it for granted. So, first and foremost, you need to recognize the strength, weakness and the challenges of your candidates. If you're looking to succeed, you need to respect Baby Aokon, which is the office. So you give it to him. And so in terms of only primaries, I think that Sa FNC could work for him. But I understand that there are other people that will contest him. For instance, Matis Beatiti, say former mayor Nokra, so I was also a member of the constituency, will probably contest him. We don't know how true it is. MPP are more factional wars. You see, Bio Island, you see, Bio, so they are trying to do their things. So I mean, it's fine. And so Mijidi said it will happen. Because it's important that you look for the candidate you can beat and beat well.
Oh, okay.
Of course, we respect him, but I think that if it's him they are representing in the elections, regardless of his strength, regardless of the fact that he's won the elections 3 times, there are major people that think that he's a darling of the constituency. But I tell them there's something called the Baba Sadiq effect. If I engineer that effect and we bring it down to Okaikoi Central, it is not a fluke. We'll beat into it. But it starts with winning the primaries. If we have primaries now, we'll focus on him. But I think that I've got the ideas. I've got the legacy projects I would want to do that stands tall and that would resonate to the people. I've got the resources to be able to match up and run a very effective campaign strategy and operations. I think I've got the experience to politically ensure that certain things must change. For instance, I mean, your coalition center, for instance, always sat outside of the constituency.
Okaikoi Central.
Coalition Center. It sits in the constituency that's outside of your constituency.
Why?
Exactly. That's the question that I would have to change. So right after primaries.
What reason Benny the amount?
Bisa. There's no other reason. Your coalition center is supposed to be in your constituency. It's supposed, and so that's why I say that these are some of the political experiences and some of the understanding of governance and the way we can bring all that to bear to ensure. So, because I mean, there's a lot of sentiment to thinking. Say, and because your coalition center is at Ghana Technology University, which sits outside of your constituency.
Yeah.
Why? How? For 3 different elections. So, and on your baby, sir. And we'll move to ensure that the right thing is done in moving the coalition center to the constituency and ensuring that this time around the mandate of the people and their choice is protected. In 2024, the NDC in the Okaikoi Central will win the seat. From 2024 and beyond, will make it one of the safest seats of the NDC in Greater Accra region, and most importantly, would ensure that the constituents in the Okaikoi Central are better off than they've been.
Baba Sadiq, your simple message to all delegates on the voting in the primaries.
Yeah, my simple message is that you have to think about the bigger picture. The over 50,000 people in the Okaikoi Central have a certain expectation. So expectation, say you are more than half through to winning the power. So my call to the delegates of the NDC in the Okaikoi Central is simple. You need to put your best foot forward when you're going into a campaign where you are already starting with a deficit. In that form, if you're going into a campaign with a party or an opponent that has beaten you 3 different times in 3 different election cycles, you need to put your best foot forward. I tell them 2024, there's a major sentiment that wants the NDC to come back to power, but it's not automatic. It's a juma. And a part of it, Jumana is ensuring that we've got the right people, credible, capable, charismatic, and courageous candidates, most importantly. As you say, pure campaign strategies, are the best and resources and the things that we do to empower and give hope to the people, to win elections, is what we do. Which most importantly, that's the delegates should understand, say, the person and the best foot forward that understands the job, that understands what it needs to be done to win the constituency is here. And this Baba Sadiq. So Baba Sadiq, they should vote for the Baba Sadiq effect.
Free creative arts and culture industry. I think we want to find out this from you. Aben Eba Oshebo Bebre for the creatives. OBC region Bia, I think.
In fact, 20 different manifesto promises.
Really?
20 different.
How has the government performed? Creative.
20 different manifesto promises. They should call anybody in charge of tourism, art, and culture,
including colleague.
They've not delivered even a single one. Ogoka is year of return, so they want to use the year of return as a year to cover it. But year of return, you may catch them and say, listen,
enough year of return.
When you look at it, what is the real government impact in it? Look, year of return has been building up for more than 20 years. So December, Ghana has a holiday makers period.
Yes.
December in Ghana has been building up. December in Ghana no different from the launching called the year of return. Year of return, normal launching idea say they want to leverage Yenyen's association with slave heritage to try to bring blacks in the diaspora. And normal launching from March, and particularly around June, July, August, September, October, when before our people in the more mature economies call vacation. So they were expecting a boom within that period. When all of that statistics they fail December in Ghana, then they looked at it and say, the people don't know this. Let's leverage December in Ghana and find you who did it. But December in Ghana has been building up for more than 20 years. Who didn't know, say, every December we have the diasporans coming back to Ghana? I've been in the sector from 20 to there, all the activities and the events, are no more now. For more than 20 years, it's been happening. Rapaholic was happening 7 years before 2019. Activities are not a war on the mono. And it's parties in December. December is the rate of 10, 2 weeks, from 2000. Okubisa, your papa be a friend, Dennis Tevia, Akwaba UK. Or Nona, from late 90s. Now, almost free UK, now I'm by a party, now I'm a Tom, Ghana waste time, no. No, I'm a promoter, now I'm doing for if you land in Namaba, no one be Geomini, no more. So there were a lot of parties, will be knowing Kumasi will tell you. Yeah, and in the industry. 2001, 2002, Ghana Rocks. Chassis 2007 with Oforian Ponsa before it became a thing. So a number of the key activities, parties, Akwaba parties in Chassis more than 20 years ago. These are the real MVPs of December in Ghana. So really December in Ghana and here it's been building up. Meanwhile, if you really want to cement and look at it very well, take December in Ghana, which has been building up and it's been happening anyway. And without even government support or impact has been happening, it would happen. The numbers will increase. So January to February, January to November, which they wanted to do to bring a lot of people. What is happening? Panafeso Muguno. There's a whole number of things, and this is aside
in the entertainment.
Yes, this is aside.
Yes,
this is aside the 20 different manifesto promises. And for instance, I tell them, let me give you a perfect idea of an innovative solution. I tell you that when we talk about the men, the people that understand and can turn around situations, I told them, say, you promised, for instance, say, obey 10 large sitting theaters,
yes,
and venues in across their friends, Oba I say also about feasibility says they also need scanning and I sat back and I looked at it and I said, see, you need to come to NDC for a blueprint. This is a typical blueprint. So what the development authorities? And the development authorities now what it they are running an economic development model. They are creating certain venues. So I said to them, say, in Accra, for instance, say they've done 6 or 7 astroturfs. 6 or 7 astroturfs. One of these astroturfs, the funding of it could have gone into this particular venue. How it escaped money now more attention. Say, oh, let's go and settle the maybe let's say the Coastal Development Authority and have a conversation and take it back to maybe say cabinet or Ministry of Finance to say out of the 6 that you've earmarked.
For instance, set aside Fadama AstroTurf is
set aside
venue.
Yes, no, look at it. There are some places that I mean Fadama is very important.
Okay,
we do it. Into Fadama there won't be.
I see.
but take aside Fadama there is important. One year cry in private capacity say because it produces a lot of footballers. Take aside the normal person. If you decide so out of the 6 of the crowd on the Bakwa, it's not really needed. You will probably overturn it and turn it into one particular venue to boost creative activities in the country. It would have been good, but they didn't do it. And not 20 of the manifesto promises, they've not delivered in a single one. They said they are going to create a creative arts court. Anyway,
Baba, congratulations.
Elections. Somebody who did the assembly committee for creative arts.
But congratulations. We wish you well. We wish you well. And we do pray and hope we'll be winning primaries. I'm looking forward to the real contest.
The real contest, yes. I mean, of course, real contest in the air. If you've known Baba Sadiq, wait to see the Baba Sadiq effect. But primaries, very important. It will activate the Baba Sadiq effect.
Inshallah.
And the MP or the MPP then would see a campaign of their lives. Allahu Akbar.
It as well. And I was your friend, Baba Sadiq Namotere Kano contested for Okaikoi Central seat on the ticket of the NDC and did primaries in Abebaso the 13th of May. So we all